Since the age of 13, I'd always dreamed of owning a GTV. I got conned onto one by Jeremy Clarkson when I met him at the Top Gear show in late 2013, when I asked him what would be a suitable first car. If you know anything about Jeremy Clarkson, he loved his GTV. So, really, I wanted to race one, not have one as a first car, but to race one. So, in September last year, we bought one for a bit under $2,000. It barely ran, it had rubbish paint, the interior was rotten, and, well, I guess you get what you pay for. But we decided to persevere, so I started with rubbing back the paint. I was helped by this by my grandpa, who was a ex-body worker with cars, and he painted cars for a living for 20 plus years. And then, in July, after a long wait, we got the thing painted. I rubbed it back again, got it all masked up, and the day after, it was resprayed in its original Alfa red that came out of the factory. We took it home, refitted all the trim, and then stuck on a few stickers to make it look racy. And now, it sits in my garage, at home, and we're going to start a build on it. So, let's start. We basically took this car home and we started doing everything internally on the car. So we're going to start from the back and work to the front on what we've done, and I'll also keep you updated with every step of the way that we're doing stuff. So if we go to the back here, as I said, we've got a new stainless exhaust. You can see there. It's got a electrical cut-off switch, and also down in, oh no, that's not, you can't see it from there, you can actually. There's also a roll bar. This is what we did internally. Open it up. Here you can see full set of Cobra Monaco Sport seats, all adjustable. Interior's been stripped out completely, and there's also a full FIA approved, CAMS approved, everything else you can think of approved, roll bar that's been properly welded in. Also I've got seatbelt mounts down there, and what else have we done inside that I can show you? Apart from that, that's everything else that's been done inside. I've also got a 6-point harness, which you probably can't see due to the lighting. But that's a set of Willems seat belts. Okay, so just a pen there. We're going to go from the back. So basically, as soon as we took this car home, we already knew it had some problems with. We already knew it had some problems with what we knew at the time was timing. So we changed over from normal distributor cap to a electronic ignition, and then that seemed to solve a little bit of problems putting that in, then retiming it static and dynamic. Then from there we found that it was running a bit rich, so we've got the old set of carburetors on it at the moment, working from the front to the back now. So we think there was a problem with them. As you can see, if you look in there, if you know anything about carburetors, and they shouldn't look like that, and that looks a bit bad. Also, the car had been sitting around in some old shed in Brisbane for a long while, so we think there might have been a little bit of water in the fuel, so that could have been a bit of a problem in the whole intake exercise. It was trying to mix water and fuel and air, which is a bit bad. If I get this light now, if you look down in there, you will also be able to see that in the carburetors, in the rubber mounts, there's a fairly substantial crack, which means it's also sucking air as well as fuel, which means should be running lean on fuel, but we think the screws and stuff are off in there, so it's running a bit stupid. We actually, hold on, is that spark plug? No. If we go over here, got it all OCD'd out, you can see that spark plug is way too black, which means it's running way too rich. That was taken from cylinder 1. All the cylinders are basically like that at the moment. Way too black. What else have we done? Okay, so basically this is coming off within the next 24 hours while I'm at home. Dad's helping me out with that. He's quite an experienced man when it comes to cars. And also this morning, when I arose nice and early at 10 o'clock in the morning, we sort of knew something was wrong with the cams, because at top dead center one of the valves was still down a bit, so that we thought it was a sticky valve or there was something wrong with the cams. So if we look, it's important not to drop anything down there. If you drop something down in there, you'll have to completely take out the engine to get it out if you're unlucky. Right, so basically we went from we had some clearance tool, one of these things, and we also have the workshop manual, one of these things. And if I can find where it says in the book, there we are, see? Clearance should range between 0.12 and 0.2 inches. Larger for the exhaust valves and narrow for the intake. So we basically use these. You find the correct thou of an inch. There, these. And I think we went through all of these camshaft and valve things in there. You have to measure them while the cam is not parallel, facing an opposite direction, so perpendicular to the valve itself. So we went through all of that. We found out that we actually graphed it all out. Terrific handwriting, as you can see, and they were all completely off. So that was a bit bad when you think about it. What else have we done in the engine bay? We also had a little dig at these carburetors while the fuel we thought was clean. That didn't seem to end up very well, and it just seemed to blow itself to the shithouse. Also, when we did try running it, there were big explosions underneath the car and explosions out the jet, out this air intake hole, which sort of says that one of these valves is open because it's combusting in the carburetor, which is a bad thing. So we've also ordered some brake pads for the front and fuel filters, fuel pressure regulators, air filters, everything that filters something or regulates something. We've ordered something from, I believe it's a company in Adelaide. If you're watching this and want to know anything more about Alphas, then I'll leave that in the description. A nice little link for them. So if we go under the car now, we can see very well positioned transaxle. Alphas are known for their transaxles, shearly for weight distribution, transmission and differential at the back, and engine at the front, rear wheel drive. Also inboard brakes. I believe they kept those for the GTV6, but later GTVs, like 90s spec GTVs, went to outboard brakes, which should be there and there. So Also, when we were moving it, we actually couldn't push it in neutral, handbrake off. We couldn't push it at all, but we could actually drive it. I don't know whether that's a matter of these sticking on, so we took them off, or we didn't actually take them off. We tried to take them off, but they wouldn't come off, and you can't turn the wheels at all at the moment. So we believe that one of those is stuck on. We don't know which side though, which could be a bit bad. So now Dad and I are going to head off to the shed, and we are going to get some shims, which are little bracket things, little spacers that should help with the cam clearance problem that we have at the moment. Plus those cardies. Let's see what else we've got here. A nice Group A head from South Africa that we bought off a nice guy and draw clues. Some white heads. Nice little RC cart up there. Set of Hoosier slicks off a race car we've got. There's another little engine base from our thing. What else? Another sump. Some random shit off bloody spiders and crap that apparently fits on our car. I think the guy just wanted to get rid of most of his stuff, so some other stuff. And a nice 1973 2+2 4.2 E-type. So when you're jacking, remember to undo your wheel nuts, so when the pressure's off them later on, you only have to crack them with a breaker bar, but once it's up in the air, it means you can get the wheels off. Now, remember also when you're jacking, car manufacturers will generally put certain items on the underside of the car where you can safely jack from. As you can see on the back here, you can see we've got the back in the air, but if we go on the front, see what we see them actually. See those things there. Once you lift the car up, you put your jacks or stands on them. Also done that on the back because they've got them at the back. Also our lifting point.
How many wheels have you done?
All of them.
Right, let's get them up in the air. The needle was so low it was bent. I wanted to check those bags in case there was a smell. Could have been a big rancid spider letting off gas. Huh? That fat body on it. Like that.
Swollen with all the decomposing gas. Where do you want this? So today, a lot of hard work done. We started about 11 o'clock and as you can see outside behind me over my shoulder through this window, it is basically night time. Sorry about the background noise, that's my mum's what's it called? Clothes drying, washing machine thing, washing up some horse rugs. But anyway, so a lot done. We ended up getting the front of the car up, we got the carburetors off. Nice set of LA40 Lordo carburetors that are completely buggered. As you can see, there's full of fuel in the actual air intake part where the air filter would go. Spot. Also the jets are off and all that crap, but luckily we've got a nice new set of those. We got tuned up when we were in Sydney during the week. Unfortunately, once we got those off, we couldn't really advance much further. The rubber mountings for the carburetors were cracked on the older ones. We've got a nice new set here. Ordered these in from Brisbane. The guy that actually had the car had these and forgot to put them in with the car when we bought it from him. So we tried to get those off, but they're in a bit of an awkward position where the intake manifold is and there's a screw behind it. So we had to get the intake manifold off, which ended up with us jacking up the front of the car to try and get underneath it to access some bolts, which are absolutely impossible to access. Like, trust me, hand to heart, they are the most stupid bolts I've seen on a car in my short career. You know, that's Italian car manufacturers for you. They seem to put stuff in stupid spots. What else did we do today? Grabbed out pie. It's in the time lapse, I showed you that. We also did some valve clearing, timing, and clearance testing. We found out that they were actually off to the shit house. Like, not kidding. We've got the book here, and it says that the clearance should be anywhere between 12 and 20 mil, or 1,000 of an inch rather. And we made this sheet up, and they're completely off. Like, there's ones that are 9, there's another 9, there's a 10, there's a 14, and the exhaust should be 20, and there's all 11s and crap down that side. So yeah, it took virtually 3 hours to get the intake manifold off, which we ended up not getting. My dad got kind of pissed off and annoyed about that because we don't have a 12mm very short socket or an open end tool. So it was quite hard work trying to get that off. We didn't in the end. But we'll have another crack tomorrow and I'll see you around. Also, if you like this video, please show some support. Click a like button or comment or something very nice like that, or subscribe to the Burnout Gang. I should be posting basically every step of progression along the way with this car. It is my dream to get it out on the racetrack within the next month or so. It's a fair way off it at the moment in terms of the engine, but everything else seems to be in tip-top shape. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.